Hi-de-ho, welcome to the first Dennis and Andy show of the new year of 2021.
Yay! No more 2020. Go
Woo!
2021.
We all
Welcome.
made it. And I have decided in this new year that, introductions. I always forget about those. I'm Andy, and this is my buddy.
I'm Dennis.
There you
Welcome
go.
back.
And Dennis, I've seen this trend where people will sign their name and then after put their preferred pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put my preferred adjectives.
Oh.
So for me, when I sign my name, instead of pronouns, it's going to be adjectives. So it's going to be stuff like awesome, kick ass, super cool.
Well, then maybe I'll just put prepositional phrases or maybe I could just, live long and prosper. That's what
there you go. Now, is that a prepositional phrase?
No.
What would that fall into? Just a saying?
Yeah.
So just a saying.
A sentence fragment.
So Dennis Turner's sentence fragment, live long and prosper.
And I can see my daughter, my English major daughter, rolling her eyes going, Dad, come on.
So one thing I want to talk about quickly before we get into our usual stuff is Cosmopolitan put out a magazine cover, which I'll show you right here. And it tagged it as "This is healthy." Now, look, you can live your life however you want, but I would like to find one doctor, a physician, that says that's healthy. You know what I mean?
I do.
I would really like that. So I have my own take on this magazine cover and what it should look like.
Okay.
Here we go. This is what I think the magazine. See, to me, I believe this sums up "This is healthy" a lot better.
Oh, and you know what?
What's that?
That is a 54-year-old specimen right there.
There you go. That is Selma Hayek, if anybody's wondering. And to me, that is healthy. So I just want to get that out of the way. Now we can start the show with a little dun 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 football talk. That's right. Just 2 days ago was the end of the regular season.
End of the NFL season.
I'm not crying. I'll cry at the end of the Super Bowl because then it's going to be a long wait before the NFL comes back. But I am kind of crying because Cowboys fan, Packers fan. At the beginning of the year, I said the Cowboys would go. I don't remember my exact prediction, but I believe I said they'd be probably 10-6.
Yep, you were close.
They just reversed it. That's
right.
all.
You were just a little backwards.
So since I brought the Cowboys up, we'll go there first. Yes, the end of the season, 6-10, losing to the Giants, who are also 6-10. I mean, if they beat the Giants, they would have been watching that Sunday night game with bated breath because they would have had to hope the Eagles won and the Cowboys would have squeaked into the playoffs. But it wasn't meant to be.
But notice the Giants 3-0 at home versus the NFC East for the first time since 2005.
Yeah, that's true.
They did what they needed to do and still didn't make it because the Washington no-name football team won and Ron Rivera got his team. So I was even though the Cowboys didn't make it, I'm a fan of Ron Rivera, so I'm glad to see that at least his team got it.
Now, I will say this. The Giants, this is the first time in the past 8 games the Giants beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys went into this game 7-0 against the Giants.
Yep.
So that makes me happy at least. And before we get to your Packers, I will say that Washington game against the Eagles, I guess I didn't stay up for the whole game. It wasn't my team. I didn't care enough. But the next day, apparently, the last quarter of the game, the Eagles just kind of gave up. They pulled out their starting quarterback.
Didn't understand that in the least. He's been good. He struggled a little bit, but
he's their guy.
The reasoning is I wanted to give the other guy some snaps, and I was just like,
which,
it's
there's a twofold thing behind it. I can see that because the Eagles knew if they won, it didn't matter. They weren't moving on to the playoffs. All winning does is push Washington out and put the Giants in. I get the Giants fans were pissed off because they're like, dude, you don't sit like that and just give the game away. But, at the same time, you shouldn't have to rely on another team to get into the playoffs.
No, it should be in your own destiny.
Yeah. Here's the deal, Giant fans. If you wanted to be in the playoffs, I don't know, maybe have a better season. Maybe don't end 6-10 either. That's what it comes down to. Look, I don't know what was going through the coach's head of the Eagles either, but don't bitch at him. Maybe he legit wanted to go, you know what? We got nothing to win. We got nothing to lose. This is the last game of the year. I want to give this guy some snaps, get out there, have some fun.
All I can say is keep it in your hands. It should be in your playoff hands and not needing help. Speaking of which, that would be the Packers.
13-3. Look at that romping.
If they won the game, they were the number 1 seed, and boom, and they got the whole field. I actually thought it was going to be a closer game than that. It was a really decent showing by the Packers across the board.
I didn't really think it was going to be a better game, to be honest with you.
Look at this.
What is this garbage here on the screen? I need to really pre-check stuff.
I don't think you
put in our folder, because we're talking playoff football. So now I'm looking at quarterbacks.
Well, we're looking at playoff football because in theory, it could be the Packers and the Chiefs, the 2 MVP contenders playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So anyway, Aaron Rodgers had a really decent season. And his player rating, as you can see, these are the top 20 player ratings for quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is number 1 and now number 2 as of this year. 121.5. I think he's very solid in terms of an MVP this year. Notice that Tony Romo made it in, number 13.
13's not bad.
No.
And this is their age, right?
Yep. And then Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are at number 17. Rodgers made it for a 3rd time. So
how many times did Brady make this list? 1, 2.
Brady's number 20, number 17,
3. So 3
and
times
6.
2. Yep. So they each made it 3 times.
Yep.
So quarterback, Peyton's retired. Nick Foles, leaves fell off that tree. Tannehill, all right, whatever. Like I said it once, I'll say it again. Your Packers get a week off before they play their last game of the year.
We do, but it was an impressive game because one of the other things that happened was that Aaron Rodgers threw, 76-yard touchdown pass.
Right.
And that puts him 20th in his career. That's his 20th pass. And Drew Brees got 19 in his career. Eli Manning got 18. Peyton Manning, Brett Favre.
Oh, here we go.
And then notice Brett Favre's got 15 and Matt Ryan 15. So most touchdown passes of 70-plus yards. And Aaron Rodgers is now number 1.
Well, it's funny, too, because if he were to retire, he'd go out on top. Drew Brees, top of the game. Eli went out top of his game, I guess you could say. Peyton definitely went out that way. Brett didn't really go out top of the game, his game. Matt is definitely not going to go out top of his game.
I don't know if you could say that about Brett going out on top. He may not have been with the Packers at the end, but he had one of his best seasons with the Vikings.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Even though we were sad to say that. And then as we're talking about all the cool quarterbacks, what's going on, And Rodgers is 35, so he's not quite on this list. But check that out. 2020 playoff quarterbacks over 36 years old. Wow. Alex Smith, Gentle Ben, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, and, of course, Tom Brady, the old man in the league, is doing another good number, which makes your daughter very happy.
Yeah, no, she loves the Bucs, and she loves Tom Brady now. Well, like I said, your Packers get a week off before they go home for the season. So,
yeah, you mean, it's home for the season, or do you mean on their way to the Super Bowl?
Oh, no.
That's what we're going
with. Go home. All right, so here's what we got coming up on Saturday. We're going to give you our picks. We've got the first game of the playoffs, Colts, Bills. I'm going Bills, not because they have a better record. I think it's time for the Bills to make it further into the playoffs. I'm liking what I see. I'm not a Colts hater, so there's really, out of these two teams, I don't hate either one. I just prefer the Bills.
I like them both. I think it's going to be a good game. I am going with the Bills because I'm hearkening back to Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas days and thinking that they could turn the corner.
Next game up, we've got Rams Seahawks. I am going with the Rams.
Which is amazing because I am too, and I thought for sure you were going to go Seahawks on this one.
I'm not a huge Seahawks fan. I'm glad that the stadium won't have people in it, so they won't have that whole 12th man loud noise BS that kind of helps the Seahawks out. So it'll kind of even the playing field.
Yep.
No, I want the Rams. I would like to see them win that one. Of course, it's no brainer Saturday night. I'm taking the Bucs. I will be astounded if the football team beats them. The other thing I like about this is they're 11-5. My birthday is November 5th, 11-5. That's a sign right there. The Bucs need to win.
Wow. Well, it's a good thing your birthday isn't June 10th then, because that would be your Cowboys.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Man, let it go, Dennis. The season's over.
For some of us, yes.
Oh, shut up.
And then we got Sunday's games. Ravens and Titans. This is going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be Titans with a last-minute field goal.
Now, I will say that the one thing about the wild card weekend is I'm like, oh my God, I already told my daughter, I said, I'll watch a couple of the games on Saturday and a couple on Sunday, but I'm not going to plant my ass on the couch from 1 o'clock until midnight just watching football. I do like to enjoy my weekends doing other things. So on Saturday, definitely watching the 8 o'clock game with the Bucs. The other two are a toss-up. Probably the Bills game I'll watch. Sunday, I'm definitely watching the Ravens-Titans game. It's evenly matched up going by their record. I'm taking the Ravens in this one, even though it's being played in Tennessee. I like the Ravens.
Yep. Now we got Bears and Saints.
Wait, who'd you say you're taking? Did you say?
I already did. Yeah,
the
Titans.
Oh, Dennis.
No, I said Titans with the field goal last.
Oh, that's
field
right.
Goal.
Yeah, I don't really listen to you.
I know you don't. This is your normal, everyone. Bears and Saints. Now.
Come on.
I think it's Saints all the way, and not just for personal reasons, because if the Bears were to win, I think the Packers would play the Bears, and I just don't want to have to play the Bears again.
I agree.
That's just a selfish reason.
No, I don't like seeing back-to-back, and it's not back-to-back, but I see what you're saying.
Enough.
I think the Saints are going to win. To me, it's like the Bears. If I was the Bears, I'd be like, seriously, we're playing a Packer-level team again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
So,
speaking of back-to-back, Browns and Steelers, played last weekend.
I would hate that if I was the Browns, because and yes, they won this past weekend.
A close game,
but a very close game, and it's not. You don't get a breather. You're like, not only are we playing again next weekend because we don't have the bye week, but we're playing the same damn team that we barely beat. And I'm going Browns.
Are you?
Oh yeah, man. I'm on the Baker Mayfield bandwagon.
See, and I thought you would go Steelers.
Yeah.
I am also going Browns. I know they're the underdog, and that's tough to beat a team twice in a row. But I'm doing it because they're an underdog. It's been 19 seasons since they've gotten in. I would love to see them make it in.
I got to see them move on. I don't think the Browns, look, honestly, I don't think the Browns are going to make it to the Super Bowl, but I'd like to see them move on. You know, we said it before, we'll say it again. I believe it's going to be it's going to be Kansas City, and as much as I hate to say it, Green Bay in the Super Bowl with KC win.
And I am going to make the prediction now. It'll be Kansas City and the Packers. And the Packers are repeating Super Bowl one with, I believe it was a 35-10 win in Super Bowl one. So I'm kind of going with that. You guys can fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Michael, you did not miss football. So there you go. What is this garbage comment? Let's go Giants. Go to home to watch the rest of the season on their couches like the Cowboys are?
Go Giants.
I'm not sure where they're going.
Next season. Wow, they're right there with the Packers. They're all coming over to our house, all the Packer and Cowboy Giant Cowboy fans.
I've already smack talk. I'm telling you right now, Cowboys, Dak's going to be back next year, healthy, and they'll win the division.
All right.
Saying it right now, Michael, you might as well just go home. Cowboys are going to take the division. Eric McIntyre, hey peeps. What's up, Eric? Thank you for joining. Another comment. Isaac, sex.
Oh, it must have been Selma Hayek.
You must have saw Selma Hayek then. Ha. Yeah, I know. I mean, don't laugh at the Giants. I mean, they are a legit team, but don't laugh at them now. All right, moving on. What did the boys get? It's comic book day, which means we went to the shop. So let's check in.
We got a lot.
With what we got. Well,
this was a big week. All right. I got a lot.
We did not get a lot. Dennis got a lot. Starting with X Factor.
Go figure in X Book. And it's been solid. It's been enjoyable. I get all the X books. I will continue to get them. The art's been pretty decent. The story's been solid. I'm just going to keep putting it out.
Interesting cover. Is she dying or something? Scream of death.
It could be because we all know it's that siren. We'll see what happens to her.
Kill her, bring back Banshee. I love Banshee. I don't care about this character. She could bite the dust and it wouldn't bother me in the least.
I do love Banshee, and he did get brought back.
Now this.
Juggernaut! Yeah.
Juggernaut's
been fun.
I admit I'm waiting for the trade because I'm a huge fan of Ron Garney's art. I like Fabian's writing. Love the Juggernaut, one of my favorite villains, but I'm waiting for the trade. Sorry.
Yep. Hey, some exciting Star Wars: The High Republic. This harkens back to the day of the old Republic. So I'm going to give this one a shot. I'm going to be curious to see what they do. I mean, this takes place way long before Luke Skywalker and those guys.
Who are these people?
Don't know. We're going to find out. This is the first issue, so it's dealing with a time and it says the High Republic, so we'll find out more. This may be one that may be worthy of a review if it's halfway decent, because
you have to let me know.
Especially with all the fun Star Wars stuff that's been coming out.
So, and this takes place when?
It takes place long time ago. It almost looks like it's Old Republic time, or just slightly after that, and long time before Luke Skywalker. So
sweet. They're getting their no dudes in. So except for that guy. I assume. I don't want to guess. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Maybe it's not.
We'll find out. Ultraman. That's been pretty interesting. Again, liking the art. Interesting cover. So yeah, looking good. And after that, we've got the regular Star Wars title, and that's been pretty decent.
Yep. This looks like is this a new story arc? It looks like Operation Starlight. Oh my God! Is there a little pony in it?
Don't know yet.
I
don't think so. Now, if it was the last trilogy, there was, because there were horses running on the top of. Oh, don't even get me started.
Operation Starlight with Luke and his
phallic. These stories are way better than that trilogy. Go Mandalorian.
So phallic. Hey, isn't that supposed to be green? Isn't his lightsaber supposed to be green?
Well, you're assuming that's his lightsaber that he's got there.
No.
You make a lot of assumptions based on a cover. Hellions. Oh, man. This has been fun. This is way better than I was anticipating. Out of all the X books, I thought this might be my least favorite, just because it's got Nanny and Peter in it and stuff like that. Wild.
It's a nice cover.
You know, but the story's been very interesting. So this has been a fun book to pick up.
It's a very good cover. I like it.
Yeah.
It's engaging.
Seven's Reckoning.
Oh, 7 and 9.
Yeah.
Looking good too.
Yep. That's been a fun story.
Yeah, she's looking good. That's a nice piece.
Yep.
Of art.
Donnie Cates, you know, what can I say? He's doing been enjoyable. Thor. So Thor's one of my regulars.
Great cover. I saw, I'm friends with Olivier Coupel on Facebook, and he was actually posting process shots when he was creating this cover, and it was really cool to see the creation of it. He done a lot of gray tones under there. So very cool.
Yeah. Now my odd pick of the week, because I actually didn't have it on my list. I walked in, but I'm a huge fan of J. Michael Straczynski. Babylon 5. You know, and he's used to do stuff with Thor when he redid the Thor reboot. I like his writing. I'm not all that familiar with the Resistance. You know, and apparently this takes place after an apocalyptic, something bad happened and a lot of the population died off, but now certain humans are coming back with superhuman powers, and this is kind of a story. So I'm taking a shot on it because it looks interesting. The art's not my favorite in it. You know, it's just from a stylized positioning, but his stories are usually quite good. So right. I'm taking a shot on this one.
All right. Well, you have to let us know.
Yeah.
Another Star Trek.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's been a big week. You know, we've had a couple of moderately small weeks, so you know it was all gonna boil up.
Beginning of the year, man, they are just dumping stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. This is, you know, good spin storylines. That's it for me.
My turn. I only got a few things. Death Metal number 7. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love Greg Capullo's artwork. I loved his art on Quasar way back in the day. I think that was his first monthly book. I actually came on the book as the artist after he left the book. So I've always loved Greg Capullo's stuff. This is a very interesting story, so I'm looking forward to seeing how Death Metal wraps. Eternals, I've been on the Eternals train since Jack Kirby created them back in the day. I've got a few of the original issues that I bought back then, and I got the collection that came out, collecting all of the Kirby stuff. So I'm curious to see what they do with it. I know this was supposed to be in time for the movie. Oopsie, COVID kind of screwed that because that was supposed to come out in November. Eternals now comes out, I believe, this November, but they didn't sit on the book, so I'm looking forward to it. I really enjoy Asad Ribic's artwork. And then, favorite book of the week, Captain America 117 Facsimile Edition. That's where Marvel takes fantastic
first appearances usually.
Yeah, first appearances and reprints them with all the ads and stuff, and it's great. So that is what I got this week. Moving on, we did do. Hold on a second here. I'll show this. Come on now, Isaac. We're going to be talking about Cobra Kai, but you got to be patient. I thank you for joining the show, but just hang with us, brother. We'll be talking about Cobra Kai. Michael says Quasar. Yeah, man. I do Quasar. Rocked it.
That, especially with that awesome prismatic, number 50 cover. Right?
Yeah. Number 50 with that prismatic foil cover they did. All right, let's move on.
We did a road trip.
We're getting to Cobra Kai. Don't worry, we have a lot of thoughts about Cobra Kai, but we did a road trip over the weekend. And
Columbia, South Carolina.
Hit a shop called Heroes and Dragons. I've never been there. I've seen their setup at conventions. I love going to different shops. This guy's store is really, really nice.
Yeah. Here's Jorg, thumbs up. I mean, we loved you were the first stop of the day. And I actually can say I spent the most money with you. You had a lot of great stuff. Great comics, toys, statues, and then a real unique find, the old Marvel superheroes role-playing game. They weren't in great condition, but he got in a collection with them. And my buddies and I, Chad, shout out to you. He used to, GM that game, and they had a bunch of the cool module pieces to it, some of the game things. There was a lot of cool things that I wound up doing. The Bushuju Dark Phoenix he had,
Sure.
So I wound up spending way more money than I really wanted to. But we hadn't been there because he had moved to shop since the last time that I had made a road trip there. So we found his new place, loved the setup, and apparently it's getting bigger. So I can't wait for that to take place and come back. But yeah, Heroes and Dragons, great shop, lots to see, lots to buy. Yeah, great crew. Enjoyed my time there.
Yeah, no, if you're looking for comics, he's got a huge back issue selection, lots of dollar stock, lots of older stuff. If you're looking for toys, he's got tons of toys. He's got old Star Wars stuff. So thumbs up to that shop. I almost wish it was closer instead of 2 hours away.
Yeah, cool shop. Our next step was Cosmic Rays. This was one that I had never been to before.
Neither have I.
And it was interesting. It was enjoyable. It's a smaller shop.
Yeah, it's small.
But he's very diverse. He's got CDs and albums and
Albums.
LPs.
Photographic albums.
No,
LPs. Those big discs.
Yes.
That play music. Yeah.
Yes, like I want the knife.
That's right.
Murphy.
It's a smaller store. He has a lot of books on the wall of new stuff that you can look at. His back issue selection, unfortunately, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give him like a 4. It's not a great back issue selection, but it's not a big store.
It's a smaller shop. That's just it.
But yeah, it's a smaller shop. But like Dennis said, he's got other stuff. You can see he's got T-shirts, he's got CDs, he's got record albums, like Dennis said. So he's got some cool stuff like that.
It was a good shop. It was small, like we said, but he had a neat little selection. But the cool thing was, a customer came in with something I had never seen before, and I can't say that too often. He had a Flash comic in Arabic, an older Flash comic. So that was actually really, 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 really neat to see.
Yeah, no, that was cool. Last shop, place called Scratch and Spin, makes me want to think of Sit and Spin. Lots of toys, lots of Funko Pops, good size selection of comics,
lots of music,
tons of music. There's nothing wrong with that. Tons of music. Not much. Yeah, I mean, recent comics, back issue selection is definitely better than the previous store. Not as good as Heroes and Dragons. One thing I'm not a fan of, I was looking through some back issue stuff. I've held comics for a long time. Of course, they don't know that, people when they just walk in. But I opened up a bag, so I wanted to look at this particular book, and I got yelled at for opening it and was like, no, you need to bring it to the front. So whatever. I'd go back to it, but, what are you going to do? So it's a neat store, but it's definitely heavier on the records and music and stuff.
Yeah. Overall, we all spent a fair amount of money. We found lots of really cool stuff, some good books, toys. I mean, you name it. It was a good all-around trip for the three of us. So.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. I lost the screen here. Hold on. Give me a second. What'd I do? All right. Let's move on. And I say we just go to Cobra Kai first. We're going to talk Cobra Kai, and then we're going to talk about a movie called Fat Man.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, we're talking Cobra Kai. Now, Cobra Kai dropped on January 1st.
Yep.
It was supposed to drop January 8th, but they were like, you know what? We're going to treat you guys and drop it early. So my thought was, I went into it because I know as soon as they get done watching these 10 episodes, you're waiting like a year.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch 3 episodes, hit the pause button, come back a few days later, hit 3 more, come back, 3 more, come back, last one. Needless to say, come January 2nd, I was done with Cobra Kai.
I know. Do you know how I know that?
Because I texted
Because he's like, dude, have you started watching Cobra Kai? I'm like, no, not yet. He goes, dude, it was great. I'm like, whoa, episode 1 was great? He's like, no, the series. What?
Yeah.
Dude, get a life.
It starts off where season 2 left off. So if you haven't watched season 2, guess what? We're talking spoilers. Season 2 ends with the big high school fight, basically between the two dojos, between Miyagi-Do, right? Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai, and it ends with the one kid. And if this is the first time tuning in, I'm awful with names. So I'll say my statement, Dennis will say the kid's name because he remembers that stuff. So it ends with the one kid that Johnny took under his wing, and he got kicked off like the second floor. It looks like he broke his back. He's in the hospital.
Yeah.
So it literally picks up, boom, right where the second season ended.
Yep.
I tell you, my favorite character still is Zapka, Johnny Lawrence, man. He is the hero of the show.
He really is.
Hands down, that dude's the hero of the show.
He really is. He brings so much to the show. And each season has been a little bit different. And it's really more of his story than it is anybody else's, even though you wouldn't have thought so when it first started, but it really is.
Yeah, well, the thing too with Johnny's character that I see more in him than Ralph Macchio or Reese is, or I should say Danielson and Reese is, I see more levels to Johnny throughout the show. You know what I mean? There's just more depth to his character. And I mean, LaRusso's not just one note, but you can almost say he's just two. He's either, damn it, stop messing with me, or we need to get along, almost.
Yeah.
And Kreese this season was cool because they actually did flashback stuff with Kreese's backstory. So you actually see him, and there will be some spoilers with season 3, but not we're not going to spoil.
We're going to try not to.
But they do backstory with Kreese. I don't think it's a big spoiler. He was in Nam.
Yeah, so they've hinted that he was, in the movies, he was Special Forces. Everybody knows that. They know he went through a lot of crap, but that's just it. We know he was in it. This really brings, they do flashbacks, and they really bring out good story with him, and they piece together, and you don't know it's him right away. They just do it, Johnny, and then you're like, oh, I wonder if that's him. But as it comes out, you find out about his story growing up in what I think like 1965, and they bring it forward and they flesh him out. So he's not just this 2D, right? He's a 2D villain. He's just a 2D villain. No, they actually bring it out where he's got a lot to him. So they do a good job with that throughout the entire season.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. So they bring in other characters from the past.
So this is where I'm going to say that I think season 3 excelled. If you're a fan of the original Karate Kids, they've had all these other characters through. We've talked about Allie before.
Right.
But it wasn't just her. They started bringing back other characters from the movies and where are they now kind of things, and you kind of see them, which is great because if you're a fan of the movies, it really is just a nod to the fans, but they just don't give them like a little cameo. They're incorporated into the story.
Well, not only that, but kind of like The Mandalorian, the second season was better than the first. This third season, every season of Karate Kid's just getting better. So unlike some shows where it's like, oh, that season was great, and then, True Detective, the first season of True Detective was fantastic.
Yes.
The second season of True Detective, you might as well just flush down the toilet. As much as I love Vince Vaughn and the cast that was in it, I thought it was garbage. Third season redeemed itself.
Yeah, again, it was good. I agree.
Cobra Kai is just going up.
Yes.
It's just going up. So let's check out one of the first guest stars that they had on the show. That's right. I don't remember his name in the movie, but that's it.
Yep. Yep. And we remember it because it was when he was like, honk. You know,
exactly.
It was the death grip.
It was
awesome.
The death grip. The fight was awesome.
And when they meet each other and he sees him, he's like, Danny LaRusso's like, whoa. And
this dude just, he sees him. And like you said, LaRusso looks over and he sees him. He's like, oh, crap. And this guy's just like, Danielson. Like he's about to rage over and kick his ass. And you're like, oh, shit, where's this going?
Yeah.
They had really good stuff. Here's the before. They had really good stuff with the characterization with this guy and a little more backstory on him. That's about all I'll say.
Yeah,
because I don't want to give away, base anything.
They incorporate his character into Danielson's past, and they do a good job with putting in hooks and bringing you into.
Well, they bring in Miyagi.
They do,
and they really weave more backstory on Miyagi-Do and the teachings of that as well, because obviously he travels to Japan.
Yes,
I mean, that's not like a big secret by any means.
And he gets introduced with her, Kumiko.
Yep.
From again from the movie, and that was the young girl, and that the two of them were kind of fighting over, and it winds up being perchance and she gets brought into the story, and Daniel, they kind of relive the past. They again, very meaningful stuff dealing with Pat Morita's Mr. Miyagi, finding some letters. They go through them. There's a lot to this interaction, with what's going on with them. It was a great addition, and she's the one that kind of brings those two together. Yeah. Because she knows, she can see what's going on. Very well done.
That's that was one of the funnier scenes in the show. Is, not a big spoiler, but LaRusso, Daniel was like, what the hell's he doing here? And she's like, oh, I invited him. And he's just like, what?
Why would you do that?
Or do you want to kill me? Do you want me dead? I mean, come on now. Yeah. Going into season 3, our next slide, if you didn't think this was going to happen, then I don't know what you were thinking, because we all knew somebody was showing up in season 3. This is obviously not from season 3. It's from one of the movies. But Elizabeth Shue.
Allie comes back.
In a really good way. They worked up a really nice storyline with her.
Yes.
To come back.
They've teased it since last season.
Yeah, they totally teased it. I mean, didn't the season finale?
Yeah.
The season finale, he was on his phone.
Facebook. Yep.
He was, Johnny was on his phone sitting on the beach wallowing in misery like he likes to do, drinking, and he chucked his phone, and then he walks away and he looks at his phone and he's like, then the phone makes a noise and she accepted his friend request.
Yep.
So right there, you knew in season 3 she's coming back. It was just when.
But so here's a little piece of interesting news. She wasn't planning on coming back. So the scuttlebutt has it that the reason she wound up showing up to season 3 was when she was filming The Boys, the director pulled her aside one day and said, hey, let's just have a little conversation. And she's like, what's up? He goes, they're doing, Cobra Kai. And she goes, yeah, you got a lot of fans that are out there.
Right.
And they go, they would love to see you come back and reprise your role, just as a fan nod, and the fans would go crazy over it. She's the one who called Cobra Kai's producers and said, hey,
really?
You know what? He told me about this, and they were like, heck yeah. Yep, here's some money. Let's go. Let's do this thing. And that's why she showed up. And she played a great part, and it was a great scene. Having Daniel LaRusso's wife there, and yeah, it was a great.
Now, I don't know if you saw this at the end of episode 10, and this has nothing to do with the Cobra Kai story, but Netflix will automatically roll into something else. This should suggest something else.
Right.
And at the end of episode 10, it rolled into like after Netflix. I can't remember what they called it, but basically David Spade hosted it.
Yeah, they had an after show.
Yeah, it was an after show
yeah.
talking about Cobra Kai, but it was talking about a couple Netflix shows because Bill Burr came out about his comedy special. So I watched that, and Elizabeth Shue was there in person, and so was the actor that plays Miguel, and so was the actress that plays. Did you watch it?
And he looked different. We started. I didn't get to finish it.
Yeah,
but I mean, he looks different with his beard and everything.
Yeah. And then so was the actress that plays, or the actress that plays LaRusso's daughter, and the actor that plays Johnny's son. And then it was, I guess, schedule-wise or whatever, it didn't work out because they were all sitting there, you know, apart, and I'm sure they were all tested before, COVID tested. But point is, Zapka and Ralph Macchio were just on the big screen behind them, zooming in. And she said, this just really kind of blows my mind that when she showed up on set, it's probably been, I think she said since the late 90s is the last time she's seen either of these dudes in person.
Ah, that's awesome.
So like 24, 25 years since she's seen these guys in person. So that was pretty cool. And then we've got, this is showing up really dark, but what are you going to do?
It's Hawk.
You know who it is. It's Hawk. It's Crazy Hawk going from his initial outing as Lip.
He's been wimpy. One of my favorite kind of characters throughout it. His transformation going from me to becoming an alpha within the dojo to his turnaround. And I love what they did with him in this season. So that was shout out. I've enjoyed his story arc as well.
And he has a good one in this season. I mean, he definitely plays, he takes what Johnny Lawrence is as a D-bag and is like, hold my beer. I can one up your D-bagness all the way up to here.
Yes. And but he's got all of these things behind him, because Johnny didn't have a lot of flaws in terms of his character and stuff. He's got physical flaws. He's got flaws with his friends. I mean, it's kind of like DC and Marvel. You know, DC's, superheroes, Superman has like almost no flaws.
Well, Johnny was the rich brat.
Right.
Whereas this kid is now I'm tough and know how to fight, so I'm definitely going to take it to the nth degree.
And everybody talks about how he wets his bed and stuff like that, and he just gets angry. He's just a really cool story arc. This has been fun.
There's a nice turn with this kid. We'll just leave it at that. You got to watch it. She's back, of course.
She is badass.
She's just the wicked witch. I mean, she's badass, but
she is your villain. And seriously, she is really, her and Kreese are the villains in this, and they do it so well. And she walked in for her fight, and you can just feel the tension, and you see Samantha's like, oh no, she's going to beat the crap out of me, and get scared. And I mean, but she looks the part, she acts the part. All the casting's great in this show.
Well, there's one scene where Reese goes out and he wants to recruit new members to Cobra Kai.
Yes.
So he goes and he like watches a basketball game and he sees how tough one of the players is. He like goes up to the kid after and says, "Hey, I think you should come check this out." And then he goes up and he pulls like 5 people in, and they come walking into Cobra Kai, and a couple of the people he recruits are the ones that beat up him in season 1.
Yeah.
Right. So this guy, Lip is like, goes up to Kreese and is like, "Sensei, I don't think this is Cobra Kai material, blah, blah, blah." And Kreese is basically like, "Look, you fight for your spot." So he basically teams up or pairs up the new members of Cobra Kai with these recruits, and whoever wins is in and whoever loses is out. And one of the guys that was original from season 1 Cobra Kai, one of the nerds that basically became a fighter, gets his ass handed to him, and he goes into the fight. I love it because he goes in all cocky and stuff.
Oh yeah.
To this recruit, and this recruit that Kreese brings in just kicks his ass.
And the fight scenes that they have in this are spectacular. I mean, the big fight at the LaRusso house. It's the LaRusso house. That's all I'm going to say. Great choreography. This was a great season.
So
this is the fun part.
This is one of the flashbacks of a young Kreese, and I believe this is actually what's the actor's name that plays Kreese? Martin.
Yeah, Martin.
I believe this is his real son, which I was kind of like, well, that's weird. You'd think they'd actually have him playing the younger Kreese, but I guess not, because the guy they cast for the younger Kreese with the hairstyle and stuff, I thought actually looked more like him.
Yeah. Yeah, Martin Cove.
Yeah, Martin Cove. So I believe this is Martin Cove's actual son.
Which, of course, they didn't have him play his son. He played the bully.
That's what I say. He plays the bully that picks on the young Kreese. So that was pretty cool. And all right, close out that stuff for now as we go back.
So we went and watched a movie.
Well, let's finish off on Cobra Kai.
Oh, we got to grade it.
Well, not only that, but just, I mean, yeah, it was a definite great season. You definitely need to watch it. To me, it's one of the most grounded, I guess you could say, shows that's on TV right now that takes place current day, because they do talk about, there's some PC stuff in there, but then you've got, the real life where you've got a guy like Johnny Lawrence that's just like, that's the thing, like you've got LaRusso, who is definitely, I mean, he's not like super PC. He's not, I don't think Danny LaRusso's super woke or anything.
No.
But he definitely tries to ride that, he's just a polite guy, right?
Right.
But Johnny,
he was sometimes with Mr. Miyagi's teaching.
But sometimes LaRusso kind of rides that line a little too bit, and Johnny's like, what are you talking about? And kind of brings it back around. And Johnny there's a fun part in high school where Johnny basically goes up to his old Cobra Kai students, because if you saw the end of season 2, you saw he had a falling out with Cobra Kai, and Reese takes over, and Johnny's like, whatever, man. So he tries to get his old students back, and he gives them this speech, and you're kind of like, yeah, Johnny, that's it. Yeah. And then he turns around to walk out of the high school, and he walks past this kid and knocks his books out of his hands.
Old habit.
And he's just like, oh man, sorry, old habit. So he apologizes, and then he's like, old habit.
Yep.
So it's just,
I mean, it's just they do a good job. This is probably my favorite season, and I teased Andy before, but my wife and I started watching it, and we didn't stop. We completely went through it in one day too. I mean, it's just it's so engrossing.
I mean, I wish they were a little longer than 35, 40-minute episodes.
But that's why we could do it in a day.
I know. That's why you can binge it so quick. I will say, if you want, it's like Cobra Kai, guys. How about we boost the next season up to like 45 to an hour, and then people won't watch it so fast. And on the good news, obviously there's a season 4. I read that the writers and creators actually have. They basically said they're down for season 5, a season 6. They're basically saying, as long as Netflix wants us, we've got Cobra Kai stories to tell. Which, when you see the season finale of season 3, you almost get the feeling like season 4 would be the last one. So I was very happy to know that the creators are all like, look, if we can keep bringing it, and if the ratings are there for Netflix, we'll keep pushing this out.
Yeah.
And the actors are on board too, so that's pretty cool. But did you notice? I believe 2 actors I didn't see in this season. Remember last season, the dude? It was the actor that played Richard Jewell.
Yes.
He wasn't in this season anywhere.
And Samantha's friend,
the black girl, right?
Yeah.
What the hell happened to her?
I think they made a mention in the beginning that she went to a boarding school. I mean, so they did. They did mention something, but I mean,
I don't think they mentioned the guy though, because he was part of Cobra Kai.
Yeah, and if they did, I didn't pick it up.
I don't think so, because he had a nickname and everything.
Yeah.
So that was weird.
Anyway, CJC, we got to get it. The CGC grade.
The CGC grade, man. I'm going to 9.0. Cobra Kai is awesome.
Yep. And I'm doing a 9.2. I think it was again. They keep building it. It's fun. I can't wait for next season. I really can't. No, we got a ways to wait, but definitely worthwhile.
All right, so we're going to wrap this show with a review that we teased a couple weeks ago. Actually, I think before Christmas. And then last show, we didn't get to it. Now we are. So just in time, the holiday season isn't officially over. I know people still have trees up. It's a holiday movie. Fat Man.
Yep. Fat Man. This was one we were going to go to the theater to see. We had plans. The trailer looked great. Everybody knows, we like Mel Gibson, but Walton Goggins is just awesome. We love him in everything he's been in. Watching The Unicorn, that's one that I'm watching with my wife right now, finishing that up. And totally different role. She was
Justified.
Great as Shane. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and we see Mel Gibson, that's Mad Max. We've seen him play everything.
Yeah.
We've seen him action, romantic comedies, thrillers. I guess the only thing I haven't seen Mel Gibson in is a horror movie.
Yeah, not that I can recollect.
But Walton Goggins, he's obviously doesn't have the large resume as Mel Gibson. I mean, they're probably 30 years apart in age.
He usually plays a bad guy.
He usually plays a bad guy.
A very good bad guy.
Yeah. But now in The Unicorn, like Dennis said, on ABC, CBS, one of the networks, he's just a widower as a sitcom. He's great. He's very versatile. So this movie is basically Mel Gibson is Santa Claus.
He's an interesting Santa.
Santa Claus up in Alaska, I believe. And Walton Goggins is a hitman. And he's hired by, there's another shot of Mel on his would you call it a ranch? I mean, it's kind of like a ranch, even though it's up in
he's got a large piece of property.
Yeah, because he has a workshop.
Which I guess we could call officially the North Pole.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, Walton Goggins goes there. He tracks him down. He drives through Canada.
Into
Alaska.
And they meet. Now you don't know exactly where it is because they don't say it in there. But the child, he is a spoiled brat who's a really bad person. And he expects things, and he asks for things for Christmas, and Santa Claus gives him coal, like all little bad boys should get.
And now you got to realize this is a world they've established in the movie where, yes, Santa Claus exists. The government knows about him. The government has actually worked with him before. And, it's I mean, there's some funny moments in a movie, but it's pretty much an action movie. And the moments that are funny aren't written to be funny like a sitcom is. They're just funny because, you just don't expect them. It's out of place. But the government knows he exists. The government knows where he lives. Everybody else, it's a secret. I don't think the people in town, I didn't get a sense that the people in town know he's Santa Claus, though. Because he only interacts with a couple people.
And the postal office,
right?
He's like, oh, it's Chris,
right? Because he has a PO box, and then he goes to a bar, and the bartender, he's a regular. He's like Norm almost from Cheers. Right. He's a regular at the bar, but you don't get the sense that the bartender knows who he is. So that's under wraps. But this kid gets coal, so he calls up his hitman, who he's used before. So let's jump ahead. So this is leading up. This is before the whole coal in the stocking. Basically, this girl wins the science fair. And this kid, the boy, goes to the science fair, and before he goes in his bedroom, you see all his first place ribbons. So he's going there in a suit, all ready to win.
He expects to win.
And he expects to win, and it just doesn't go his way. And now you might go, well, that's a spoiler, thanks. It's not. Because you see it in the trailer. So if it's in the trailer, I say it's free will. So this scene's even in the trailer. We'll just leave it this scene. We won't go into more, but it tells you enough about the boy that he has a hitman, and this scene even takes place.
But the interesting thing is the hitman in this picture, you start understanding his background. He's collecting things. And the toys in this world, like he's got a police card. It says, manufactured at the North Pole by Santa Claus.
By Santa.
And same thing with the bat. He's trying to buy this bat off a guy. So you know he's got a history that he knows that people know that the North Pole, Santa Claus, and the elves, they make toys and stuff. And he is actively trying to collect toys that were made by Santa. Right. You don't really understand the history yet, but you know that he's interested, right? Yeah. And it does a good job of bringing to light everything. We get to meet. So he's got an entire workshop. You find out, not like the Christmas Chronicles where you see little tiny elves and it's all magic.
I mean, he has elves and they have pointy ears and they are smaller, but they're workers, man. They're just worker bees. And in this photo here, this is Mel Gibson's Santa Claus. I'm forgetting the actress's name, but that's Mrs. Claus.
Yep, that's Mrs. Claus, and they're standing in part of his factory.
Yeah, part of his workshop.
But things are really bad for him, so that the military steps up because he get a stipend from the U.S. government. But because the people don't always believe, the number of believers goes down, so his stipend check goes down every year, and he can hardly make ends meet. So the U.S. government comes in and says, what if you, for a couple of months, did other work for the government?
Build some stuff for us.
Weapons. And it turns into...
That's what this was for.
It's really interesting because it's a whole different take that you're not expecting to come from it. We won't go into a lot of details on it. This is not a film for little children. What? It winds up being...
It's rated R.
For a reason.
It's language. It's definitely violence. I mean, it gets bloody and in spots.
He's like, "Hey, fat man!" We had seen showing in the trailer, and Mel Gibson sitting there with the gun. He goes, "Really? Like you're the first to try?"
Yeah, exactly. It's classic Mel. You can just tell when they made this movie, it was just a ton of fun on set. So I highly recommend you watch it. It's on Amazon Prime for rental. Unfortunately, it's not Prime for Prime members, so it's on Amazon basically.
Well, we were supposed to see it in the theater, but due to COVID, I think it was Bart that let us know he had watched it, and it was on Amazon Prime for like $6.99 to buy, and it was the cheapest out of the ones, so we bought it and watched it. And CGC rating on this one. It was an enjoyable movie. I was glad to see it. I'm going to give it a solid 8.5. I think it's definitely worth a watch, particularly with nothing else great that's been out in the theaters. This is a good one. I spent the $6.99 and glad I did. And even if it was $9.99 like it was on Vudu, it's worth $10 for the family to sit down and watch it.
It's a good holiday movie. Unlike Die Hard, where it's speculation if that's a Christmas movie, this
no speculation
is a Christmas movie. And I agree. There's none. Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I could sit down and probably watch this once a year. It's a fun movie. It's action packed. It's pretty nonstop. It's not that long. If you like Mel Gibson, if you like Walton Goggins, it's just a different take on the Santa Claus world. I recommend it. I give it a 8.5.
Yeah. So we agree.
Yeah. So there you have it. That is our show. We will be back next week to talk playoffs, and whose predictions will reign true. I mean, Dennis and I are on the same page except for one game. So I know I'll win that one. So
we'll find out.
Titans aren't going to win.
Yeah.
So until next time, thanks for joining us. You can get us here on YouTube. Please remember to hit the like, subscribe, share it, and the little notification bell, because you hit the bell that's down in that corner, you'll know when we go live once a week. And until next time, bye-bye.